said, as long as the speed is fast enough, we can easily, in a non-Newtonian fluid on running the well-known non-Newtonian fluid, for strong is strong. The more hard hitting it, the more it is hard like a stone. That if it is in the top running, whether it is really feasible to do this, we will be a mass of flour and water mixed together, soon formed a pool of non-Newtonian fluid, when we are forced to catch a non-Newtonian fluid, when the mission of a non-Newtonian fluid will soon solidified to form flour mission. Since the non-Newtonian fluid can be, when subjected to the action of force, quickly becomes solid to withstand the force of impact, then a non-Newtonian fluid is able to act as a ground of action to carry out sports activities too. So we built a long and 10 meters depth, 0.4 meters. The non-Newtonian fluid pool in the inside is filled with non-Newtonian fluid. The future begin. Let the athletes play for the sport, where first up is judo athletes. A judo athlete, quickly with off the shoulder, fell to one another. Athlete fell in a non-Newtonian fluid, which however we threw the slow motion playback but found this one is the fall of the athlete's hand was in contact with a non-Newtonian fluid. When is the rebound a little bit next up is the long jump, the athlete. He was soon on the ground from the run-up and then jumped to a non-Newtonian fluid, but in his fall to the non-Newtonian fluid, which, the slow motion but can't see him. In the end, there is a non-Newtonian fluid reaction force of the rebound. So we found sprinter after sprint, fast pace, soon crossed out all of the non-Newtonian fluid in slow motion observed under him while the shoes are to run away, but was still in a non-Newtonian fluid by a force even can be like on the ground. As the complete run of the next 3 sections of jump, the athlete, he was also a sprinter, like the need a period of run-up of the sport while he was on the run to the non-Newtonian fluid which later can still like to be in on the ground, like a complete 3 sections of jump. It seems that this fly Newtonian fluid for the running of athletes was able to very easily complete the running, but the next bit is a gymnastics athlete. He flew in a Newtonian fluid in a show of gymnastics what he started using a normal gymnastics but in the face of fly Newtonian fluid after using the hand, but since the contact surface is too small to directly stuck, simply cannot be like on the ground as the completion of the action. But when the second time he used the hands-free operation when he was able to perfect the image on the ground as the completion of all this action was obviously in a non-Newtonian fluid on indeed be running I'm the egg butyl we next see.